to the MTR Network. It's Chris and D-Palm here, and we are finally back. It feels like it's been forever, although we did do two of these in November. We're finally back for another Character Corner. I know the last one we did was the Doctor Strange one at the beginning of November. Then technically, while it wasn't an official Character Corner, we did, D-Palm did do the James Roberts interview, which really good, man. Good job on that one, man.
Hey, man, thanks. It was a lot of fun. I think it's cool that I can get one of my favorite writers to be like, whenever I ask, not whenever I ask, but like the two times we've asked, he's done interviews with us. And I've heard good feedback on it. I think we had a pretty good back and forth, and I'm excited for the book to drop. I think in like a week now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna read it right away
because you're making us dance this dance again where I make you read things.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's just like I can't be emotionally invested in these robots week to week, month to month like that.
I need a backlog.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. What I might do is I might do what I do with some of these other books we have. I'm gonna I might subscribe to it on Comicsology, which is this is what I love about Comicsology. I can subscribe to it that way. I can still pay for them. And support it financially and just not read them. Because listen, right now I got a huge backlog of books to read. And with this being our last week of for fall break for all the shows, I'm finally be able to catch up on that. And maybe depending on when shows come back, we might be able to get a couple of Super Tuesdays in there where we can kind of catch up on some of these storylines that we've been doing with Rebirth, with Civil War 2, with the new Marvel Now stuff. I've been hearing some good things about like Champions and things like that. So
I'm so far behind on all the books. It's pathetic.
Yeah, so same here. And I knew that was going to happen once we started getting like, dude, we're doing so many fucking shows. Like it's ridiculous.
And it's crazy because this is the last weekend, I think, for the end of the year that I don't have anything else to do besides shows. And finally, it's going to back off some, but like, they're throwing us engagement party next week, and I finding out about these things like last week. Okay, I guess that's something I'm going to. So,
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, there'll be plenty of content out there. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, but here we're back with the Character Corner. Like I said, we try to do one or two of these a month. I don't know the second. Well, I'll talk about that later at the end of the show. But we are back. This is going to be the one we've been talking about, part one of our Teen Titans Character Corners. Man, I'm kind of excited about this one.
There's so much.
There is.
And it's interesting because it makes you remember, especially when we get to some of the later stuff that we're going to talk about today in our first half of it. Teen Titans at one point was the biggest book on the planet. It was them and X-Men.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a funny thing I remember seeing was how, well, and this is not just this. This is that back and forth between Marvel and DC where each of them kind of accuse each other from stealing from each other. And let's be honest, there's some of that. There is. There is. There's some of that. The thing with Teen Titans was when they did, I think it was the new Teen Titans, right? Because it was introduced some of the younger characters and things like that. I think they were accused of stealing from X-Men at that time because that's when around the time X-Men brought in Kitty Pryde, I think.
Right.
So, but like you said, these are the two biggest books between that and X-Men, and you get you can see why. I mean, comics, I guess today it's a little bit different. I think comic books are more they're more there's more of a wide range of age ranges who read comics now, right?
Right.
You get young, old, stuff like that. But back in the day, it was pretty much a kids thing, right? Kids read it, so when you get a book of teens with superpowers, that's your thing, right?
And not just it's your thing, it's you've now seen an audience that can grow with your book.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you look at, and I think that you and I are talking about the span of 80 to 90 when X-Men and Teen Titans were the biggest thing in the world. Right. You look at this, first of all, they both had a cohesive vision. Marv Wolfman with the Titans and Chris Claremont with X-Men, who basically had uninterrupted runs.
Mm-hmm.
You had that, and then you had an audience that was willing to come in to maybe some of the tail end of the mod stuff with Teen Titans and, this is kind of kitschy. They brought back Teen Titans. And you grow with the book. You watch Robin become Nightwing. You watch these things happen. And they matter, and you have to mature the storytelling because, your audience is similarly aging.
Right. And I think that it's a smart, just from a business point of view, that's a smart thing to do.
Right.
And it's something that you'll always, because you see it now today. When we were talking about Rebirth, we're jumping all the way. I'm gonna jump all the way to the end of when we're talking about Rebirth with Titans. Like you have that moment when Wally comes back, and you're just like, huh, I missed this. Like this is familiar. Like this matters, and you have that sense, and that's how you can. I think that one thing that kind of was missing with comics there is that way of connecting the old and the new, right? Getting the new younger readers is always going to be easy, right? Because they're young. But how do you get those people that grew up with Wally West as the Flash or Dick Grayson as Robin? How do you keep them reading books well into their 30s, 40s, and 50s, right? Well, this is how you do it. You show the growth of these teams. And granted, they're, as always with DC, there's some fuckery.
Of course.
There's some retconning, there's some what the fuck is this? But yeah, I mean, you can, for the most part, you can see how things grow and where they go from there, and I think that's a great thing. Really great thing. So, all right, so the first appearance of the Teen Titans, I guess, was The Brave and the Bold number 60. And I'm trying to remember, it was, at that time, Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, I think Wondergirl, right? Because Speedy wasn't there. Yeah, Speedy wasn't there at that point.
Right.
And so Robin was Dick Grayson, Kid Flash was Wally West, Aqualad, what was Aqualad's? Garth. And then you had Wondergirl, Donna Troy, who... Donna's always a weird one. Yeah,
I was like, who?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the sister of Wonder Woman /
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So when Superman originally came out, they realized they could market him also as Superboy and tell stories of him growing up. This, of course, spun off into Wonder Girl books, which was supposed to be the story of Diana as a child.
Right.
However, when Wonder Girl was used in the Teen Titans book, they had to create a new character. Ergo, the Donna Troy craziness. And if you don't know the craziness, congratulations. You've avoided it at this point in your life. And I advise you to continue avoiding it and don't think too hard about it, although we'll probably have to deal with it later when we get to Titans and Outsiders.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is, to go back on why they had to create another character, I believe that goes back to listen to our Wonder Woman character corner and the craziness that went on with that shit. I'm pretty sure that's why, right?
It's all complicated.
Yeah, it's like I remember when we did the Wonder Woman character corner, we were just like, it's complicated.
Here you go. The Wonder Woman Wonder Girl thing makes the Hawks make perfect sense.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. The Hawks are actually way less complicated than Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl. Yeah, because
even New 52, where they didn't have years of continuity backing up and mucking about, they still are very unclear as to what the hell Donna Troy is. I don't know if that was like their way, like, we're going to keep it confusing. Watch this, but Donna Troy is very confusing.
It's weird, like. That's the thing. It's like she's very confusing, but she's such an integral part of the team. Like it's not like
she's literally the heart of the team.
Right. She is a founding member of the Teen Titans. Like you can't sit there and go, "Oh well, I'll just forget Wonder Girl and just forget Donna Troy." Like no, you kind of gotta add her in there because she's part of the team. She's part of the family. And that's the thing about it. They're a family, and yeah. So it's always a weird one in there. So yeah, the founding members are Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, and Wonder Girl. Speedy comes in a little bit later on, like not too far into it, into that original Teen Titans Volume 1 series. And the thing about that, so I actually read this. I usually don't go back and read so much stuff from the beginning of these when we do these character corners. It's usually like we'll skip over it, but I think that it's so important to kind of with this one. A lot of us that we're going to go to, I think we're going up to what, right around the end of the 90s, I think?
I was saying we should stop around Titans. Like when we get to Titans, when they start we'll probably start there next time.
Yeah.
So post-Titans Hunt is we'll probably stop.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so it's, you have to kind of read all this stuff to kind of get where they were. And when they first started off, it's funny when you read these books, they're basically... They were basically a group of teens with powers that were answering emails and like requests of other teens to help them, which in today's world is so fucking cheesy, but it makes sense in the 60s,
Yeah.
right? It makes sense. Like there's one, I think it was Teen Titans #2. They're reading the letters that are coming into them, and one of them was like, one of them was asking for, he was like, yeah, my records got warped, and I was wondering if Wonder Girl could come over and press them for me. And they're just like, what? Can't remember. Another one was asking something weird, but it's like it's things that you would think teens would ask other teens with powers, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting because the original pitch for the series was, hey, the individual heroes can team up in Justice League. Why can't their sidekicks team up in this other book? Mm-hmm. So they did the test run in Brave and the Bold and ended up catching on. But it's like you said, at the time, they weren't aiming, and this was like, what, 64, 65?
Yeah.
So they weren't aiming for, like, quote-unquote Marvel readers. They were saying, like, we're trying to aim this at kids. We want to speak their language. Like, you see a lot of the off-the-wall concepts like Mr. Twister and the Mad Mod. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
But it's done on purpose. It's done in a very pointed way. It's directed at teens. We wanted kids to get involved. And so, like, if, let's say, you picked this up when you were a kid, it planted the seed for the storytelling that would come later.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's number 19 is when Speedy joins the team officially. He was before, he would just kind of show it up. He make guest appearances, and he officially joins in 19. Yeah, it's not only that, but there's. I was surprised, kind of glancing through some of these issues, how kind of hands off the Justice League was.
Yeah, and I think that was a lot of in my opinion, you're at this point in the height of Marvel Silver Age as well. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the big sell at Marvel was the connected universe. Something they would do is like you'd see in a Spider-Man panel, you'd see the Fantastic Four Plaza in the background. Mm-hmm. It very much felt like a shared continuity. The thing about DC at the time, particularly at the time, was that all the books felt like they existed in their own universe. Mm-hmm. Like in this book, Jimmy Olsen's a turtle. And in this book, we've got Rainbow Batman, but you never saw Rainbow Batman in Justice League or Jimmy the Turtle Boy mentioned in Justice League. They'd be like, what's up, Superman? Like, nothing, just waiting on the next Justice League mission. They all felt very self-contained, and you're right. And it's something that have been retconned in on like flashback tales or whatever now, and like for year one that they tell, but it's very interesting to see just how autonomous these 5 kids were.
Right. And I think that adds to the appeal of the book, right? Because you think about it, if you're aiming your book for teens, what is the thing that teens always want? And it's something that we'll get into later on, and you'll see this with the team as, you know, the writing matures and the team matures.
Teens, and you get the greatest Robin line of all time.
Right. Teens want to mature. They want to be on their own. They want to make their own names. And it's just like these teens, they act like regular teens, right? When you were a teenager, you rebelled against your parents. You wanted to make your own name. You wanted to do it on your own. Even if you needed the help, you didn't want to ask for the help. In a lot of ways in these early Teen Titans books, you see that. And even in the later ones, it's kind of a recurring theme of we're going to operate on our own. Like, this is us. We don't need your help. You know, we're tired of being just the sidekicks, right? And I think that that's another thing that really appeals. Because, again, if you're a kid and you're reading this stuff, you're like, oh, man, yeah, you know, they're just like me. And I don't think you can undersell how important that is and how much of a good decision that was. I mean, and you can think that it's risky, too. You got a bunch of adults, but, you know, so I just think that was a really great thing there to see. They even found ways of dealing with that. Like when there's at one point, I gotta find the exact issue, but it's when they go to they run into Hawk and Dove, and they're at that political rally, and fights break out, and the speaker's killed, shot. 181?
No.
Oh, I think
was it Brave and the Bold?
No, this is actually in the Teen Titans
book.
Yeah, because it's when they all decide that they got to give up, and then they bring in Lauren Jupiter. And he kind of reforms them and kind of gives them purpose. Like, and it is weird because you would think that would come from the Justice League. But again, it's a way of them showing the team growing and getting that guidance, but not going back to what you would always think was their mentors, right? You're kind of always waiting for that moment. Like, even at one point in that book, the Justice League does show up and they chastise them.
It was issue 25 is happening.
There you go. Yeah.
You're right, because it's where the book, because it's something we literally just talked about. You go from being these young targeted stories to, our audience got older. We can tell a little bit more of a story. Mm-hmm. And that was issue 25. It was literally, you can mark the time, the day that Teen Titans grew up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was it. It was no longer just a fun, nobody gets hurt type of deal. It was like somebody died and, yeah, you gotta deal with this. It was a peace activist, so they had to go out there and they basically they give up. They decide we're no longer going to do this.
And you got to realize this isn't just like, oh, it's a peace rally. This is a peace rally being done in a comic book in 1966.
Right.
Like, for people who want to come on and say, you see some of this now. Comics shouldn't be political. You couldn't be more wrong. They've always been political and they've always been subversive.
Right. Well, it's a peace rally. That was about the Vietnam War.
Right.
Like you said, it's like
it's named in the book. It's
right.
not like, oh, this is a war that's happening. And no, the Vietnam War is named in this book as something they're at the rally against.
Mm-hmm. And other things that they do is they deal with inner city racial tensions and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like you said, this is something that I see in today, and I'm like, do you guys read comics? Like, forget the fact that comics today deal with so many political things as it is. When you go, I don't like politics in my comics, it's like, the fuck are you talking about? Politics has always been in your comics. Like, it's very involved in this Teen Titans thing. It's always been about these issues here. Like, there's I was gonna bring this up. Let me see if I have this. It was at one point in one of the runs, and I think new Teen Titans, they were going to introduce they were going to do a storyline. Let me see. Let's see. Teen Titans was given their own series in 1966, but the book soon began to flounder a bit from the lack of direction. Towards the end of the decade, while they were trying to break into the comic industry, Marv Wolfman and Len Wein were given a chance at writing the title. The pair was barely out of their teens at the time. Wolfman was 23, Wein was 21, and they were attempting to distinguish themselves. They tried to do something that had yet to be done at DC Comics: introduce an African American superhero. Yeah. Marvel was far looser and more liberal. A company only had a handful of African American heroes itself at the time. As the conservative DC Comics of the 1960s, it would have been an extremely big deal. The story was written by Wolfman and Wein and drawn by their book's regular artist Nick Cardy. It was about a hooded hero named Jericho who tried to keep a group of African American gang members from being incited to violence by the mob. Eventually, the hood comes off and is revealed to be the brother of a member of the gang. Right before the book was to go to print, the new publisher of DC, Carmine Infantino, pulled the book. Infantino never went into specifics, saying only that he would not let the book go out as written. Neil Adams, a star artist at DC at the time, attempted to step in and quell the anger that Wolfman and Wein were feeling over the story and being rejected. In the end, Adams ended up reworking and redrawing most of the issue in the span of a weekend, so the book would be ready to go to press. The new story involved a Caucasian hero named Joshua and gang members that were not race-specific. Outrage over the incident resulted in Wolfman and Wein being blacklisted at DC for a number of years. You know?
They shot the shot, man. Like I'm telling you. The thing is, and we've talked about it before, it's when no one's paying attention to your little book that you can sneak things in there.
Right.
It's when you start selling, people start paying attention that they're like, wait a damn second, not in our book.
Right. But it goes back to show you that, like you said, like you were saying, like this idea that, comic books are not political. They don't. I want race out of my issues, and no. These are battles. Again, this was back in the '60s. The '60s. Like this is a big deal. Like this is just like the whole idea of the X-Men was based off the civil rights movement. It's like
right.
It's stupid to me. It's one of the dumb. And when I see members of the industry kind of back that bullshit, I'm like, how are you even working in comics and you don't know the history of your own industry? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, it is just, it is infuriating to see. And, yeah. But anyway, back to the Teen Titans. So Lauren Jupiter comes in, finances and funds the Teen Titans. At this point, they actually do bring in I guess this is because this was the '60s, so I'm not exactly sure what issue it was. They bring in a Guardian at one point. What was Guardian's real name?
Mal Duncan?
Yeah, there we go. Not Jimmy Olsen. Supergirl. But he does have this shield. You know what? For some reason, I forgot Guardian did have this shield, and he was like really like not Superman, not Captain America. I think that what they should have done in Supergirl, they should have given some color. They should have added some color to the costume by making it dark. It's too much. But they should have given him like what is it, the blue and gold? They should have given him that. Granted,
I like the one on television. I think it translates better than the blue and gold would have.
Here's the thing, and we're gonna talk about this when we do the crossover thing. I like the cheesy costumes sometimes.
Of course you do.
I kind of like the cheesy costumes.
Of course you do. There's nothing wrong. I like them too. I'm just saying. I think that for what they've set up, if you're not going to give me a yellow background on Supergirl's S, I'm okay with the Lost Justice Guardian.
All right, and
I have never said anything about that because I know it doesn't matter to anyone but me.
You're right. Hey, you know what? You're right. And if we're not going to get gold boots on the Flash,
I'm not about to. That's where I'm going to pick my suit battles. Will not start with Guardian.
You're right. You're right. Fix the fucking the gloves on Wally's suit. Give Barry some gold boots, and then we can and put the goddamn suit in the ring, and then we'll talk. Right?
And give me the yellow background behind the Supergirl S. It's supposed to stand for sunlight and hope. And god damn it, just put the yellow on the suit.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't really bug me because I get it, but. If we're gonna have that conversation, right, we're not starting with Jimmy Olsen.
If we're gonna start talking about this, yeah, we're gonna start having these conversations about about this. Oh man. So let's see what we have here. Yeah. So when you have the original Teen Titans book, and I can't remember what did that go to. That
53 maybe.
Yeah, maybe 53. Well, no, a little bit lower than that because I think at one point you get the Titans.
Yeah, no, it went to 40. It went from 0 to 44.
Yeah, there you go.
And then it was 0 to 43, excuse me. And in the late 70s, they brought it back by Bob Rozakis, 44 to 53. And the last issue was kind of the retconned origin of the Teen Titans, where they fold in Speedy to the whole story too.
Right.
The next real era is the return of Wolfman.
Which is the new Teen Titans, right?
1980.
Right. So before we get to that, there was the Titans West. So the Teen Titans were based in the on the East Coast. They did go with the Titans West team. Let me see. What was that team? I had the list of them. Let's see. You had Lilith. You had Hawk and Dove. Who else? Golden Eagle. Beast Boy in there. And those were introduced. I want to say 51 and 50 issue 51.
It was late. It was very late.
Very very late. 50 to 52 is when the Titans West team is added in there. You do get I forgot issue 44. It was introduced Bumblebee, African American superhero heroine, and then after that, that's when they introduced the Titans West team. Got some weirdos on there. Joker's daughter was introduced in 48, which is always just a weird one. At one point, she went with Harley Quinn, but not like Harley Quinn. It's like literally Harley Quinn.
She's an interesting character.
Yeah, it's a very weird, like weirdo character there. Again, some of these characters, a little on the weird side. Not too important. There, let's see what else we have. And I think that's pretty much it for that first volume of volume 1. I guess that's kind of volume 2 of Teen Titans. I mean, you don't really need to read a lot of that.
Batgirl, Betty Kane, you get Golden Eagle, you get Carl Logan, you get Tula mentioned. Tula's there for like a second, and she dies.
Oh, so we're gonna get more into this a lot. The other thing about the Teen Titans is it's not good for your health.
No, Titans, it's kind of said explicitly later on, but there's a very real belief that maybe kids shouldn't be heroes.
Yeah. So we'll get into a little bit more of that a little bit later too. And I think that goes with the maturing of the book where you start having, kids that just, you know, and things like that. Like, it's very, very, it's a lot. Like, there's, yeah. Titans Hunt, I was like, wait, did they really just kill?
Oh, we'll get to Titans Hunt.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Like, wait a second.
So when you're done with Teen Titans and we get the new Teen Titans, and again, this is when Wolfman comes back. We get some significant, and I think, well, you'll never forget the original team. I think this is when you get the team I think a lot of people recognize the most.
Right. Especially when you look to things like the Teen Titans television show and Teen Titans Go.
Right.
This is the basis of those teams. This is
right.
Let's just start how we open up. We open up with the original. I mean, some of the originals: Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl. Then you get Changeling, Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg are the big additions.
Right.
And well, there's some more additions, obviously, but those are the big. That's really the big seven of the era.
Exactly. And the other thing about this is, this is where you get some of the more. To me, this is where, like, those first two volumes were, while they eventually did start getting connected storylines. This is when you start really getting things that, when we get into part two, are also going to see where they came from and how they mattered. I would say you get your introduction of I would say your big three when it comes to the Titans, Teen Titans villains. You get Trigon, you get Deathstroke, and then you get Brother Blood. And I guess
this is really Wolfman putting his stamp on it and saying, "This is mine."
Right. And we get the whole thing with Deathstroke, and that's going to probably carry over into part two of this. But I would say, you know, Deathstroke and the Teen Titans. Like, I guess this is where you come into and you see things like Deathstroke being in the Justice League movie and going, okay, you guys really just don't get it, do you?
Why? Look, and this is something that, as a nerd, bugs me. All of a sudden, he's a Batman villain. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he's like the I'm like, wait a second. If anyone has a problem with Deathstroke in that cave, it's Dick Grayson.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and when we get into that as a little bit more. So, the new Teen Titans are basically formed because at this point, remember, the original Titans team, they've given it up.
Right.
Dick and Kid Flash and Dick and Wally have decided to they've decided to give it up, go back to college.
Right.
I mean, Dick Grayson's still being Robin, you know, here and there, but Wally's 100% back and going to college. Like, hey, I've given this.
He's
up.
Retired from superhero.
Yeah, he's retired completely. And I think that's the other thing too. Before we get into this, you start seeing. And I think there's another defining moment of that first volume in volume 2 is you start seeing these teens think about, hey, do I want to do this? Do I want to be a hero? Maybe I'm giving up my childhood. Maybe I just want to be a regular kid. Maybe I want to go out there. Because at one point they go back and they give up their costumes and they start fighting crime and helping people in their regular clothes. They start doing it under their regular names. Like they've given up being these costume heroes. And I think, again, that goes back to the nature of the Teen Titans, which is a coming of age story and teens finding themselves. And I think that's something that so many people can attest to, especially growing up as a teen, you know? So, but they're brought back together by Raven, who at the time doesn't tell them this, but she needs to bring this team together to fight her demonic father, Trigon the Terrible. And one of the important things you find out in this later on is that when Wally said she asked Dick Grayson to call the Teen Titans together, get Wally West. Wally tells him, like, listen, I'm back in college. I'm not doing this shit anymore. You guys are on your own. He all of a sudden shows back up and is like, oh, no, I'm going to help you guys. And you don't really find out. And I love how they don't really tell you what happened with that and why he decided to come back until like 5 issues later. When you find out that Raven pretty much manipulated him into falling in love with her. And the thing about that is that is so interesting is something that even once he finds that out, that she manipulated him to do that love is always there.
Right.
And it's a love that she can never fully give back to him anyway because of her being an empath and what she's going on. So it's one, again, it goes back to, and I think that it's not a stretch to say this, it's the tragic nature of the Teen Titans. Even in their personal relationships, some things just are never going to fucking work out. You know? And it's something that you see that throughout this, like Wally will, when something happens with Raven, Wally is always fucking there. And it's just that he'll never be able to get over that. And like you look at that, you're like, that was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So.
And it's something that gives real weight, and it tells you immediately with the new volume that you may feel like, oh, this is the same Titans I remember. Things have changed.
Yeah.
The storytelling has changed. These new characters, bringing in Cyborg. So let's talk about the new characters now. So Cyborg is the remnants of a sports hero. Mm-hmm. Vic Stone, who just best way to put it, because it's across all the continuities. There's an accident. He was hurt. The machine made him better. They use him to tackle, like, am I a man or am I a machine type stuff. Kind of really deep storytelling. They use Raven as, what is it, like an other dimensional daughter of, like, the devil, pretty much.
You know what? There's a story that you've seen before. It's almost, I mean, granted, it's almost like her story is almost tied to, like, Greek mythology with the whole, like, Zeus has relationships with a mortal woman and a demigoddess form. It's almost like that, where Trigon kind of tricked her mother, granted her mother kind of sacrificed it, didn't know it was going to be this, used her mother to try to get an heir. And she lived with it. Like, one of the good things, if you want to really get the background on the new team, what was it? Like Tales of the New Teen Titans, I think.
Yeah.
And they basically go through each of the new Teen Titans, and they give them, there we go. Tales of the New Teen Titans 1 through 4. And what they do is they go through each of the new Teen Titans, and they're like, they have gone on this retreat with the team, and they're out camping, and each of them kind of tells their origin story again at a campfire. And I think it's really good because it gives you, like you said, it gives you insight into each one of these. And Ravens is it's fucked up. Like, there's no other way to say that. But
if you think about it, all the new Teen Titans are all fucked up backstories. Yeah. Cyborg was nearly killed, turned into a damn half robot. Yeah. Changeling, Beast Boy was orphaned and adopted by the damn Doom Patrol. Yeah, and Starfire was sold by her family into slavery.
Yeah, no. The weird thing about it is, they're all fucked up. I want to say Logan's might be the least fucked up, which is not saying a lot because it's still fucked up. Like, it's really, really fucked up. But because he gets adopted by, I can't remember the name of the guy who he gets adopted by, but they have money, so he's well taken care of. But it's just
but if you read those Doom Patrol's weird.
Well, they're not only is it weird and fucked up, but they die.
Yeah, also that.
So his team gets wiped out, and when we get more into the Deathstroke thing, which is Trial of the Terminator, like that last the Beast Boy / Changeling versus Deathstroke thing. We'll get into that a little bit later, but oh boy, you don't realize, because again, his personality is always to joke around and to be the comedic relief. You don't realize how fucked up he is. Like, he's fucked up. Like, it's not even fucking close, But you're right. I would highly recommend reading Tales of the New Teen Titans and each of those if you want to get a full accounting of their backstories. But like you said, don't do it if you don't want to.
Like, if you don't really have to think about it, like, wait, some of these stories are kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And speaking of fucked up stories, let's talk about Judas Contract.
All right. Well, so before we even get the Judas Contract, you got to set up Deathstroke, and again, his first appearance. First appearance is issue 2. Before that, the person who showed up before him, and you don't know this, is actually his son, right? No.
Yeah.
Was his son before him? It's around then, and you don't know it's his son. You don't know that's what's going on. You don't know that Grant Wilson is going to be that going back and knowing who everything is now and knowing how it turns out and seeing this and then now going back and reading this stuff. I'm like, it totally makes sense why Deathstroke is a Teen Titans villain. Like, so when Raven brings the team together, she kind of has seen the future and she's trying to form this team, and she's trying to they're trying to go and get Starfire, who has escaped to Earth. She gets Starfire gets picked up though by this regular guy named Grant. He's taking care of her in her house. Him and his girlfriend are having issues, and his girlfriend's yelling at her. Teen Titans show up to get her. His house gets destroyed. He gets really upset. Gets really, really angry that the Titans have taken this girl from him and have destroyed his house. He blames them for his girlfriend breaking up with him. Not to mention, but Grant is a piece of shit, so that's also why. But he blames them. At this time, you're also seeing. So it's not that the Grant shows up because around the same time that Deathstroke does. Same time, there's this group called Hive, the Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Eliminations. Lovely
lover
group.
of acronyms.
Yes, lovely group, right? Sounds great. They want to contract Deathstroke the Terminator to capture the Teen Titans. He turns them down, but they're able to, using fancy 1980s writing and trickery, use X-rays to kind of somehow mimic his powers. And they decide that they're going to make their own Deathstroke. And just so happens, they use his kid, Grant, to do this. What they don't tell Grant when they give him these powers is that he's just a pawn to get Deathstroke anyway. And they give him these powers, and what he doesn't understand is the more he uses his powers, the more it will drain him, and he will die. He goes to fight the Teen Titans.
They didn't tell him that.
They didn't tell him that, but Deathstroke does. Like, Deathstroke knows that it's his son, but doesn't tell him, and goes and stops him like, listen, you know, when he first goes, I think he's going, when Grant shows up, and I think he's going to attack Cyborg, Deathstroke shows up and saves Grant. Grant going by the Ravager. He goes and saves him, tries to tell him, like, hey, listen, kid, you have these powers, they're kind of like mine, but they're different in that mine are kind of stable. Yours are going to, every time you use them, you're basically draining your own self. So you really shouldn't be doing this. Leave the Teen Titans alone. Drop the contract. Don't worry about it. Grant, being the kid he is, says, fuck you, old man. I don't need you. I don't know who you are.
He's not right, but
yeah.
He's truly Deathstroke's son.
Yeah, no. He's like, I don't need your stinging help. I don't need you for this. And he goes to the Teen Titans again. Deathstroke again shows up to try to help him and take on the Teen Titans. Everything's going well, but all of a sudden, Grant goes down. He starts getting drained. And it's because he's used his powers.
I can't stress how not the Titans' fault this was.
It is not. It is not the Titans' fault. All right?
But somebody got it bad.
And even then, what Raven does to try to help, like, because Grant's dying, and he's like, he looks at Deathstroke, he's like, did we get him? And Raven makes it seem like the Titans were dead to give Grant that feeling that he at least won. That he died, but at least finished the contract.
Right.
Like you said, it's not the Titans' fault. They tried to help. But a contract's a contract. And
contract's a contract.
And Deathstroke doesn't really blame. He blames them, but he also blames Hive. And he's like, but a contract's a contract. He's my son. I basically inherited his contract. Titans don't know this. But it's also what Hive wanted. Hive wanted, at some point, they knew that Deathstroke, Slade's, sense of loyalty and honor would make him keep that contract. And so that's where they're at with that. That's how Slade becomes locked in on the Teen Titans. They have this contract. And for a while there, I would say, because Judas Contract isn't until like 40 issues in. So you don't really see the fruition of this. Again, this is one of the things we talk about all the time. This long form storytelling where you just know I'm going to eventually, I have a story to tell. I'm going to get to it. And they set that up.
Leave a creator on a book.
Mm-hmm. Again, I can't stress enough. It's not until, what is it? What issues are this? It's like, 41 through 44?
Yes.
Yeah. Of New Teen Titans. Yeah. Sorry. 42 through 44, annual number 3 is when Judas Contract happens. Now, in between then, you do have Deathstroke the Terminator showing up sometime. At one point, he I want to say almost. He does kill Beast Boy. He does. But through the wonders of, Amazonian magic, he's brought back. But and he kidnaps somebody else. He kidnaps some investor or somebody like that. But Deathstroke is kind of always there. But that's it. The seat setting itself up. I'm not exactly sure when Terra shows up.
See if I can give me one example for you. Okay,
but when all this is going on, a new girl shows up with powers. She's very, very powerful. She can use her power to control the Earth, and you don't really know what's going on with her. Some of the Titans are very suspicious of her, but they also want to help because, again, why wouldn't you not?
Because that's what the Titans do. They help out other kids. That's what we're supposed to do. That's the mission, right?
Mm-hmm. I can't trust enough. Again, she's a kid. She's 15 or 16. Which leads to some weird things when they tell you that Deathstroke.
You shouldn't think too hard about some of that stuff.
Yeah. When they go to Deathstroke.
She first appears in New Teen Titans number 30.
Yeah, number 30. So Terra shows up in issue number 30. Judas Contract is 42. What you need to understand about Terra is not a character that was created that goes bad, that turned into a traitor. Terra was always created to be a spy. From the beginning, Wolfman and them are like, listen, no. Not only did we know that she was always going to be bad, we knew we were going to kill her too. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an important thing that I think makes Judas Contract so good. It's like, because most of the time, what is it? It's like, no, the person's a traitor, or they were, they went bad,
or it wasn't them.
Yeah, there was a changeling, or they find someone. No, Terra was always bad, mm-hmm. And what makes it such a good thing is they do such a good job of making you don't trust her at first, but you eventually get that trust in there, and then when you get into the issues right before Judas Contract, like if you get the trade paperback of Judas Contract, I think they include like the first the 2 or 3 issues before then, and you even see you see Logan getting close to her. You see Logan developing feelings for her, and even at one point they share a kiss. Mm-hmm. And so you're seeing all this stuff happen, and you're just like, oh, okay, they're warming up to her. The only person that doesn't really warm up to her is Raven, because she kind of senses something with her, but she can't really put her finger on it. But you're like, oh, okay, this is good. She's always helping them. Again, for 12 issues.
Well, she's introduced in 26. She meets them in 28. She joins in 30. And then for a year of stories, there's the characters are in the dark, but we find out in 34. Mm-hmm. 34 is where you see her meet Slade. Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, what's going on here?
Right.
And so then we get the Judas Contract. You want to take over on that one? Because for only, 42, 41, 43, 44, and then I guess, it's only 4 issues. For 4 issues, there's a lot in this.
Yeah. So Terra reveals herself as a traitor and helps Slade capture the Teen Titans. At the time, Dick had just left.
Well, no, Dick hadn't just left. He became Nightwing.
Wally left.
Wally left.
Oh, Wally just left. That's right.
Yeah, Wally left the Teen Titans. So Wally's no longer. He decided he's going to go off into the sunset again. Wally Wally goes through some shit. Wally realizes he don't really want to do this shit. Wally goes off. Dick Grayson decides he's going to give up being Robin.
Right. He hadn't decided what was going to be next, but he wasn't with the team when they were captured.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so he's then approached by Slade's wife and other kid.
Mm-hmm.
And said, and they teach him how to break in and free the Titans. It ends with them freeing the Titans. It ends with basically the Titans being pawns in a Wilson family squabble.
You're right.
But it ends with Tara bringing down the mountain on them all.
Mm-hmm.
And dying. And Deathstroke stabbing his own son. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's tighten that. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
The end with Tara bringing stuff down. Her name is Tara Markov, and she is little more than 16 years old. And due to the fault of no one but herself, she is insane. That's the other thing you got to realize. Tara's insane. She's so insane. She's like, I think they later.
She asked Slade if she can kill him earlier. Like I think 39. She's like, "How long do I have to play along? When can I just kill him?"
Yeah, like I think they later retcon this so that it's not that Slade made her crazy.
Like he's drugging her or something. Yeah.
But I like the original story where it's like even Slade can't control her.
She's a sociopath.
You're right. So I like this. And like I'm going to read the end of what happens with her death, but we'll go back to, because I think there's so many intricate things that happen in this. Due to no fault of anyone but herself, she is insane. No one taught her to hate, yet she hates without cause, without reason. No one taught her to destroy, yet she destroys with glee and relish. Don't look for reasons which do not exist. Plainly, Tara Markov is what she is. She has taken a great power and made it as corrupt as she is. Hers was the power over the earth itself. She could have brought life to deserts, heat to frozen tundra, food to starving millions. She could have dammed raging rivers and funneled water to lands parched dry and dead. Her powers were limited only by her mind, which controlled them. A mind which sought not hope, not love, not life, but death. And she found death, but not her enemies, her own. Like, that's why I don't like the retconning of that, because
first of all, that's great writing. And it makes her own it. It gives her more agency if she owns it.
Right. And when you go and read Judas Contract, like I said, when you make it Slade drugging her or giving her drugs or some other reason for other than her being crazy, it does take away from this story, because there's so many things, like you said, there's so many times in here where she's like, "Come on, Slade, can I just kill him? I hate them all.
Yeah,
I hate them all." And he's like, because at one point, Slade and Wintergreen, his butler / great best friend,
right,
/ old army buddy, are going, "Hey, she's getting kind of close to them. Maybe she's getting soft." And so Slade's like, "Maybe we should go out and we should train. Let's see what goes on." And when he realized he's going through, let me see if I can find that, because he goes to fight her, to train with her and train against her, and he's like, she's not playing anymore. Like, she's literally, like, it's not a game anymore. Like, she's literally trying to kill me. And that's when Slade realizes, like, I don't even know if I can control her. And like you said, it gives that character agency. It makes you see that this is just a really damaged young woman who Slade thought he could use to help in his contract. But in the end, because even at the end, when we find out that there's Slade's wife and son Joseph, who becomes Jericho, are there, and Jericho helps Dick Grayson to rescue the other Teen Titans and stop Slade. At one point, Slade gets kind of soft, and it's like, okay, no, it's my son. I gotta wait. This is my other son. I'm not trying to
lose them both.
I'm not trying to lose them both. And Tara's like, too fucking bad. Not my, because at one point
that's not what I'm getting paid to do.
Right,
I'm not getting paid to not kill people.
Because even at one point, when they're again, it's the weird thing of the '60s where they have young girls and older men. I don't like that. That's the one aspect of this I don't like. But when she's over at Slade's house, she sees a picture of his wife and his son. And again, I think they do a good job of seeing that as well, because you get what is his wife's name? Adeline, I think, and Adeline, Joseph. Yeah. They do a good job of seeding that they exist without showing you them, and then they show up later on in these books as a woman and guy who are following Dick and are following Slade, and you don't know who they are. And when they reveal it, you're like, oh, the pictures that are at Slade's house. So when Tara sees those pictures, she's like, "You going soft on me, Slade? You have a wife? You had a wife? You had a son? Are you soft on me?" He's like, "Come on, yo, this family. What the fuck's wrong?" Like, she's nuts.
She's nuts.
She is absolutely nuts, and I think I like that. I like that about her because, like you said, it makes the choice she makes on her own. Mm-hmm. She does not like the type. She does not like them. She doesn't like the fact that let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
I just had one of the panels up.
Yeah. Because at one point he's like he's using her to infiltrate the Titans to find all their secrets. Because basically he's trying to find out who they really are, where they're at, and ways to get to them. And that's how Slade's able to take them down. That's why Dick is like the last one for him to go after.
Right.
He takes out everybody else pretty easy. But Terror takes out Raven. Because Raven's the one that's kind of suspicious of her. And at one point, Raven even says to her, it's like, "Listen, I don't trust you. Like, there's something about you, and I can just sense it, and I don't like it. And I haven't gone to the others yet because maybe it's something else. Maybe I'm wrong, and I want to be 100% sure." And Tara's like, "All right, cool, bitch. I'm taking you. When it's time to take you guys out, I'm taking you out myself. Like, you're mine." That's how crazy she is.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing. You also during this time get the backstory on Slade. Yeah. And I thought that was another really great one about how he got, how he was a soldier, how he met his wife, how he became Deathstroke the Terminator, how Joseph lost his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was really cool that they would run Tales of the Teen Titans kind of as like a side by side to the normal Teen Titans book at this time, owing to how much popular this property was.
Right. About how Joseph lost his voice because Slade was basically being a contract mercenary. His wife and son didn't know. Somebody that came after his family took his son, and they said that they'd give his son up if Slade gave up who hired him. And Slade was like, "Can't." With a knife to his son.
He said, "I can't. It's my code. I'm a professional, damn it."
Yeah, I'm a professional. And he thought he was going to be fast enough to stop the dude from killing his son. He did, but not before the dude was able to cut Joseph's vocal cords. So, but what he didn't know was Joseph also had powers because he is Deathstroke's son. And so you have Terror dies. Slade is captured. And I guess the next big thing for me is Trial of the Terminator. Which is, and the reason why I like that is it's not really what goes on during the first two issues of that. It's the last one between Beast Boy and Slade. Because Beast Boy blames Slade for terror. Even though Slade goes, "Listen, it wasn't me. Terror was on her own. I didn't make her evil. You have to understand that. I didn't change her." And Beast Boy doesn't want to believe it. Beast Boy doesn't ever want to believe that Terror wasn't just that Terror wasn't corrupted. He doesn't want to believe that she was evil from the start. So he blames,
which is why I think the retcon hurts the story.
It does. Like, you can't retcon that. You got to keep it that way. So Beast Boy conspires to get Slade from going to jail.
This is Tales of the Teen Titans 55 and 54 and 55, right?
It might be. I think
there's a great cameo in there that I missed the first couple times I read it. You see the judges?
Oh yeah, Adrian Chase.
Dog.
Yeah. And it's funny because at one point, Adrian Chase, vigilante, if you're watching Arrow, he's talking about how at one point he has to let Slade go because again, Slade is able to prove. He's like, "Listen, he's only being charged with kidnapping somebody else." Right. And he's like, "You can't prove it was me." Yeah, I am Deathstroke the Terminator, but he's like, anybody could wear that costume. You don't know that technically it was me that did that. And Beast Boy is livid. At one point he attacks Slade in the courtroom. But you find that it's all part of a plot by Beast Boy to get. And at one point he's basically pretending to be. He uses this device to pretend to be Deathstroke, so that you have two Deathstrokes walking around, one that's in prison and one that's out. He's doing this so he can get, because he wants to kill Slade.
Slade, yeah.
He wants to do this. So you have Slade agreeing to fight him. And Slade shows up to fight Beast Boy, but didn't show up as Deathstroke. He just shows up as Slade. And you have Beast Boy eventually says he's not going to do it. He goes, I wanted to so much for killing Terror. Why did you do it, Terminator? Why did you do all of that? Why? We never went after you. It's over, Logan. We both know it. I just realized it sooner than you. Come on, get up. Why did you attack us, Terminator? My son Grant called himself the Ravager. I got involved because of my son. He took a contract with Hive to kill or capture your group. He failed and he died. Blood obligated me to finish it for him. I completed the contract when I brought you to Hive headquarters. But we didn't kill Ravager. He died on his own. I know. The Hive's operation that gave him powers killed him. Then your grudge was with them. Why hunt us? He took the contract because of me. He took the contract because he worshipped what he thought I was. He wanted to be like me. I had to complete it for him so he could rest in peace. He was my son. You never cared about us then? You did it for him? That's insane. You could have died doing something you didn't believe in. I know. Come on. You want some coffee or something so we can talk and drink? And then they have this conversation at the coffee shop. You loved her. No, she used me and I used her. This is Beast Boy talking to Slade about Terror. If she didn't die trying to kill us, if she didn't die trying to kill both of us, she would have died doing something else. She was a sad case. She carried a chip on her shoulder the size of Mount Everest. So she took this job in Africa, became friendly with the king, and joined his family. Only he was smart. He saw her for what she was and tried to get rid of her, but she killed him first. Tawaba was his name, and he was a friend of mine. And that actually was the king, I believe, that took in Beast Boy when his parents died.
Right.
And he doesn't want to believe it. You taught her to hate us. Give me a break. She hated everyone. I have never seen anyone like her before, and trust me, I've known scum that could corrode acid. Don't ever think she felt anything for you but hate. She was incapable of loving anyone. She used people to get back at all the villains she saw in her life, from her brothers on. My only regret is not having him and Eddie at my side. Let me see. There's something else. Yeah. So he basically tells, like, you have this really great conversation between Slade and Beast Boy where he basically kind of helps Beast Boy kind of get over it and move on. And you're like, damn, like for a guy who started us off as a villain and he's a bad guy. Don't get it wrong. He's a bad guy. Like he's a mercenary. He's an assassin.
But you figure out that this entire play's been a play about honor.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason he's here is like, I had to protect my family's honor.
Yeah. Beast Boy says, I can't believe I'm sitting there talking with a man I wanted to kill less than an hour ago. No, all you wanted was to kill hate growing inside of you, not me. Look, as far as I can see, I may have gotten involved with the Titans, but I don't see our paths crossing again. I keep thinking I should stop you, but the courts won't imprison me. Look, my crimes are locked inside of my head, and you've expunged yours from your soul. I think you'll be doing a hell of a lot better than I will. Take care of yourself, kid. You know? That is, I mean, it's a full story. It's a story from beginning to end. You see why he came after him, and you see why he stopped. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and you're like, wow, okay, I can kind of it's again, when we do these character corners, we usually don't start so far back in the past, right? And sometimes we go because it's like the writing's not good. But the new Teen Titans stuff, I mean, it's got its 80s and 90s qualities in the writing sometimes, but the overall story is really well done and in some cases really, really tight. And you get something like that. Like this Trial of the Terminator really does put a cap on Judas Contract. It really is right. the end of that storyline. And I don't think
that's 50 issues later.
Right. And I don't think you can read Judas Contract without reading that part because you need that because it also explains where Beast Boy is. Like nobody else understands the pain he's going through and how he's feeling. It also goes to one little thing that I guess we'll get into when we do part 2. Tara dies. She was she not a traitor again because she was always a spy. She was never really a Teen Titan. She worked with them, never really a Teen Titan. You got to remember when it comes to where she's buried, the monuments they have they have a memorial for Tara.
Yes.
There are certain people who don't have memorials that might feel some kind of way about that. Because he was never really a Teen Titan. Just throwing that out there.
He's there for a second. I count him.
Well, no. I'm not saying. Listen, I think Jason's fucking nuts.
Yes.
He has a good point.
He wasn't wrong at that point.
He has a valid point. You guys.
You know what? You're right.
You're
right.
All right.
So New Teen Titans turns into New Titans at 50, kind of continuing the theme we talked about of watching the book grow up.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we enter the New Titans era. And things go really 90s. Because, all right, so before we get to it, how do you feel about Titan Hunt?
So there are issues with it, but I like what they were trying to do with it. But it's very it's very like you said, it's very 90s.
It's just super 90s. It's like, look how they might as well call themselves the Extreme Titans.
Like
Beast Boy has a mullet.
Yeah.
They start adding these like edgy Titans.
Like there are important things that happen here.
Yes.
But I wish this is one of the things where I wish you could reboot in the continuity that I would love to see Titan Hunt read, because basically what happens with Titan Hunt is the Teen Titans are systematically hunted and captured by the Wildebeest Society, and Deathstroke basically comes to the rescue.
Right.
And then it brings in Jericho, and again you get another full story. Like this first arc of Teen Titan stuff. Yeah, there's Trigon there. I think that's an important story. We'll get. I think you can kind of carry Trigon stuff into part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna save the Trigon and do all of it in part 2.
Yeah, because I think that's more important there. I think even the brother blood stuff ties into that. You can kind of do that for part 2. Mm-hmm. This first run is basically, especially when you get the new Teen Titans. This is basically the Teen Titans and Deathstroke, and you get 3 arcs. You get Deathstroke being introduced as a villain. Mm-hmm. You get him capturing Teen Titans and that ending. Then you get Deathstroke kind of as an ally of the Teen Titans, but then there's something he has to do at the end. You're like, that's probably gonna have consequences in the fucking future, and that probably kind of ends any niceties that they have. Like, those are 3 things there. And so while Titan Hunt isn't a great read, I'm not gonna lie, I skipped around some of the stuff. Like, they bring in Team Titans, the ones from the future. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped over that shit. I didn't care.
The Team Titans?
Yeah, the Team Titan ones.
No, thank you.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of bad in Titan Hunt. And I'm reading this stuff. And at some point, I just kind of skip. But what the overall arc is, the Wildebeest Society is somehow capturing the Titans.
Killing some of them, Golden Eagle.
Right. Killing some, like, when I say kill, like, one of the
that's right. And when I say 90s, that's what I mean. The Golden Eagle death is so over the goddamn top.
Dude, he gets strangled to death and is
drowned.
Drowned. Like
what?
It is. Well, no, he doesn't get drowned. They almost kill Aqualad. He almost drowned. It. Yeah. Like, they almost drowned Aqualad. Like, how do you almost drown a guy who lives in water, yo? Like, what the fuck, man? But no, the killing a Golden Eagle is like, I'm like,
how many times have you seen a comic book character strangled to death?
Dude, like,
to really think about it.
As the guy who's doing the strangling is kind of like talking, like, it is, whew, like,
You know how personal it is to strangle someone to death?
Good God, dude. Like, it is. Woo. Yeah, it is. Like, and at one point, I'm like, well, he's going to lie. They blow up Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
They blow up Cyborg.
It's basically Titans Hunt Extreme.
Right.
I'm sorry, it is.
Right. It is.
And it gives us a great Deathstroke moment at the end that we're going to talk about in a second. But I'm not a huge fan of Titans Hunt. Like, that was when I was like, can we just stop at Titans Hunt?
Yeah, like, I'm not a fan either. I'm a fan of moments of it. And like you said, the Deathstroke stuff is great. Because you get to see...
powerful.
You get to see...
It pays off the new Teen Titan stuff.
Yeah, you're seeing Deathstroke trying to not atone, but like when the Titans are captured, Deathstroke gets involved because I can't remember, was it Jupiter? Was it no, it's somebody else. I can't remember who the guy that's working with the Titans is. No, it's Logan's father or adoptive father. What is his fucking? I can't remember his fucking name. It's escaping me right now. But he calls in Deathstroke, right? And the reason why he calls in Deathstroke is like, and there's another one of those weird things was like he was like, I couldn't call the Justice League because they wouldn't help. And again, it got to shows you that the Teen Titans are on their own. Like the Justice League doesn't really show up to and while that moment that him saying that was kind of weird to me. I did like it because I'm like, all right, cool. Let them do it on their own, right? But he calls in Deathstroke because it's like, well, Joseph is a member of the Teen Titans. He was also captured. He was like, I'll call in Deathstroke because hey, he's got to help. You want to, it's his son, and Deathstroke helps. Like it's not even like you're waiting for Deathstroke to betray them and be behind it all. No, he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He's literally trying to help them. He is literally trying to do the right thing here, and it ends horribly for him.
Horrible for everyone. Like Titans Hunt. Let's talk about Titans Hunt. So they find out the big bad Titans Hunt, the leader of the Willoughby Society, is Jericho.
Right.
Who ends up having to be killed by his own father.
Not just killed. Deathstroke sticks
You're right. In a very graphic stabbing through the chest moment.
He stabs him through the chest from behind with his own sword.
It's super 90s.
Slade Wilson loved his son, loved them, watched them grow, watched them laugh. Grant took after him. He was free, untamed, a force of nature who fought and scrapped and clawed his way like a wild, uncontrollable hellion. Grant died trying to be just like his father. But Joe took after his mother. He was an artist, the musician, the poet who, before he had been possessed by the terrible force that was slowly destroying him, would reach out to an enemy not with a closed fist but with an open hand. When Joe died, it was by his father's hand. Slade Wilson will never again be the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
that's about it, man. Well, that takes us to where I wanted to end here because I wanted to stop at Titans Hunt because it feels like a natural. Because after this gets kind of weird and disjointed, we'll talk about the end of New Titans, the beginning of next time, and kind of the things that happen in between. But the next true Titans revival, the one that you feel has a stamp of it, doesn't happen until 2003,
right?
Which is crazy to me because you say Titans Hunt, and I'll tell you that's what killed the Teen Titans, and people look at me strange. But we don't get a true Teen Titans run until. What, 12 years later?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're good. Like to me, Titans Hunt is important because it gives you the moment. It's the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
No, that happens in.
Wait, no.
That happens in Judas Contract.
Was it Judas? Oh, you're right. It was. I'm sorry. Yeah. What was it? Oh,
issue 44 is his first.
You're right. He's Nightwing there.
He changed the suit in the 90s.
That's what it is. Yeah, it becomes a very 90s suit. You're right.
Well, to be fair, the 80s suit was a very 70s suit with the disco collar.
Cyborg gets his new body, and this is when Cyborg becomes more Cyborg. Because up until this point, when you see Cyborg, he's still a man. He's still a man/boy who is augmented with cyborg technology, right? Like you still see flesh on him.
Right.
He gets blown up at one point, and the Russian again, so 90s. The Russians put him back together with mostly technology, and so the only thing that's really still human of him is his head and part of his head. And he doesn't have his mind, he doesn't remember anything. He's literally just a cyborg at this point. So I think Titans Hunt is important because you get some of these moments. You get there's that moment where later on, where Grayson and so when Slade kills his son, he's doing what he thinks he has to do. He's like, I have to, not only do I have to save everyone, but I'm trying to release, because Jericho was being possessed. It was possessed by, was it Trigon?
Yeah.
It was being possessed by Trigon because at one point something had happened. He had contact with Raven, and somehow it got transferred to him, and that's what happens on. And you kind of get that feeling because you start seeing certain things with him. You're like, this feels more like something that would happen with Raven. But Slade does what he thinks he has to do to not only save everyone else, but to kind of release his son. The Titans, particularly Dick Grayson, don't see it that way. They look at him as a murderer. And again, I think Dick is kind of being a dick here.
He is, but at the same time, this is you can say we can intellectually know all the moral code stuff. This is the same guy who single-handedly took down the Titans. Be inclined to not believe him.
You're right. But at the same time, he's also the guy who single-handedly, kind of single-handedly saved them. He comes back. He doesn't have to save them. He does. He comes back to help. The entire Titans hunt is really Slade Wilson hunting down who took the Titans and his son. Dick is being a dick. You get this moment between Dick and Slade. Go ahead and try to hit me. Get it all out of your system. Maybe then you'll realize that you weren't the only one who lost someone. I lost a son. Grayson, you're good, but I don't have to fight you to stop you. Damn it. How the hell do people like you and Bruce keep it bottled up inside of you? Don't you ever cut loose to let it go? If I didn't, I think I'd explode. And you get to see the difference between Dick Grayson and everybody else. Dick Grayson and Slade and Batman. So, yeah, like I said, the first run, the first run of Titans is basically a Deathstroke story. There are other pieces in here. You definitely bring in Trigon, but I think that plays more heavily into later on. Obviously, the stuff that happens here, the beginning, middle, and end with Deathstroke, though. Titans Hunt is kind of a weird. I think it's a good natural place to end, and it does get kind of weird. And I think just because you get 90s out, it's just the 90s were a weird time for all of us.
And we'll open up now. I will touch on all those little things, like the Atom being de-aged for no good goddamn reason, and I'm sorry, it just gets weird. We'll talk about all of it, but it's all going to be a prelude to the Jeff Johns Mike McKone run.
Yeah, which I think, and Jeff Johns comes and saves the Teen Titans.
You'll see that theme happen a lot in our DC comic corners.
No, I mean, at this point, you guys should know.
JSA.
At that point, you guys should know this happens. What else did you want to do? Let's go over some of the other stuff we want to talk about. I didn't read this, but I think you put it in the list. They actually, so we were talking about how they were accused of doing the new Teen Titans and ripping off the X-Men. At one point, they did a Teen Titans and X-Men crossover.
Yeah, man, it's
Again,
so cool to me because it was a time when these two books were they were comic books. That was it. It was X-Men and Teen Titans, and the idea that Marvel and DC could say, there's enough money to be made here to throw them together, and it was an opportunity for two competitors to say we can make a lot of money if you put it aside for one issue. Mm-hmm. They put it out in prestige format, which is almost like the wide lens storytelling we get later on. It was written by Wolfman and Claremont. They co-wrote it. Simons and Terry Austin did the art. The whole thing it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's Darkseid and the Phoenix Force versus X-Men and the Titans. Each team is beaten up and captured by Deathstroke. Like it's the best of both.
Yeah.
And they never treat it like our worlds collide. They're just like all of a sudden we're aware of each other and working together. It's out of continuity, but it made them a ton of money, and I think it was really good for both books. And really kind of people say, how big were Titans in the 80s? I'm like, they co-starred in a book with X-Men.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, not the Justice League.
No, not the Justice League.
The Teen Titans did.
100%.
You also wanted to talk. I think you wanted to talk your favorite Dick Grayson moment.
What's my favorite Dick Grayson moment?
You wanted to say when your it was a Robin quote. I thought you wanted to do.
Oh, let me see. Now I've got I don't have the list in front of me.
I thought you had put it up. You said at the beginning. And I think I had it. And I couldn't find the.
Oh no, there's my favorite. My favorite Tim Drake moment cap is in the.
Okay, the Tim Drake moment. Okay, I thought I wasn't sure if you were talking about Dick.
And I'm just gonna say it here now. I'm gonna say it then too. You lied to Starfire. I lied to Batman.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is the greatest Rob moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's Yeah, man. Like overall, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of 80s and 90s readings in here, but I do think there's enough stuff here to get a good foundation for where you go forward. And when you look at this stuff, like you say, when we get to the Jeff Johns stuff, you'll see how much of this stuff he pulled back and tied into and made relevant. Like I said, some of the retconning I'm not gonna like. Like I said, I think the retconning of what happened with Tara takes away from the weight of
it takes the punch out.
It takes the punch out, and you know what? And I think that's a thing that it's a recurring thing with DC. They can't leave well enough alone sometimes, and they constantly go back and try to fix things that aren't broken. And I need them to stop doing that. Stop doing that. It was fine the way it was. You didn't need to go back and change that. And instead of changing that stuff, build on it, because it left so much there you could build off of, and it was great. So, all right. You got anything else you want to say about this, man?
Nope. Excited for part 2 though.
Yes, I'm really excited for part 2. Here before we finish up. So this is it for Teen Titans. I got an email that I got from somebody that I want to read. I'm trying to find it. Oh, Anna. So you sent an email in to us. Hi guys. I hope you guys don't mind a fan letter via email. I was a bit confused on the best way to contact you. Nope, email's fine. Again, if you have iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. But if you send us an email, that's even better too. Cause I know sometimes it's easier to do that. I found you through your interview. Hey, look, this is you, D-Pump. I found you through your interview with the writer of the Transformer series. I'm a huge fan of that comic, and I love you both. I have loved both the interview episodes and the first comic book club that dealt with the first 22 issues of the series. So much so, in fact, that I signed up for your year-long premium membership so that I could listen to the other episodes about the series, as well as some of your exclusive character corners. For example, I can't wait to listen to your analysis of Deadpool. Yeah. Tell me, hey, see?
What's up? Yeah.
I don't think you realize how excited you just made D-Pump. Like, listen, anytime you bring up More Than Meets the Eye or anything to do with Transformers and not deal with the movies, you have made premium. You just hit like everything for D-Pump right there. The reason I'm writing because you mentioned on one episode, I can't remember which one, I've been marathoning you guys for the last 3 weeks. Hey, it's fine. Hey, that's
the only dangerous amount is none.
Yeah. That if we just had any questions or requests to send them to you, I don't know if you guys are willing to cover this since it seemed like you primarily did with the big two, but I thought I'd ask, have you ever considered doing a spotlight on any of the Hellboy series? It could either be a comic book club or a character corner podcast, but that series was my obsession during the summer, and I would love your take on it. Thanks for putting out such great shows. It's made my last 3 weeks of admin temping much more enjoyable. And here's the thing. When I did the Nerd Off, just me and Rod on Friday, and we were talking about how sometimes there's things that we know might not be good for other people, but we enjoy. I'm gonna say something here. I don't know much about the comics for Hellboy. I like those 2 movies.
Oh, those movies are, first of all, okay. Listener, I grew up on Hellboy. I'm about that life. That's a very real conversation we need to have. Second of all, the books are great. If you like something, because you're like me, you like a consistent voice, it's always one writer, always one artist, the same guy. Mm-hmm. Those movies are awesome.
Yeah, first of all, listen,
Why are you apologizing? Those movies are awesome.
Listen, if you put Ron Perlman in something, I'm probably gonna watch it.
I'm gonna get Ron Perlman as a half demon with a giant hand that hits things.
Well,
the first one's great because it's like this Hellboy origin story. The second one's great because it feels like Guillermo del Toro was like, "Fuck it, let's see what we can do."
I'm not gonna lie.
It's so weird.
I think, man, you're making me feel so much better about my Hellboy.
Don't you apologize. That's like,
look,
I like good shit. Sorry.
Look, man. Look. When we start talking about good comic book movies, I never want to say anything. I want to be like, y'all niggas ain't bringing up Hellboy though. I mean, shit.
See, I chill on it because I don't even classify Hellboy as a good comic movie. I'm like, oh, this is a great sci-fi movie. What are you talking about?
Man.
Like, oh yeah, it is also based on the comic book, I guess. But like what was it? The Lost Army was the second one.
Yeah, I think so, or something like that.
Take a look. I may watch that later this afternoon.
Yeah, I think dude, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I might have to watch Hellboy now.
I was like, I got.
Oh my god. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. All right. I don't know if it'll be a character corner or
we might pick a miniseries to read,
or a comic book. Maybe it's a comic book club.
We'll do something like the God Machine or something. We'll pick it. What I'll do is I'll find some trades. All right. We'll put them together and do a comic book club. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right, cool. So to answer your question, and your premium, we're premium, so we're already going to do that. We're going to do a comic book club, so you can, if you want to hear us talk about this and you're not premium, become premium. So we're going to do that. I'm also going to say it now. 2017, we're doing both Hellboy movies for nostalgia reviews.
And I will be there for both of them.
It's happening. One, thank you for. So you hit the trifecta. You praise Steve Hom in his interviews for James Roberts and Transform More Than Meets the Eye. You became premium. Yeah. And then you got us to talk about Hellboy and the fact that we're going to do comic book clubs and watch those movies for nostalgia reviews. So that's at least three more episodes that we're going to be doing on this. So you hit the trifecta. You are now our favorite fan.
The more you guys say stuff like that, the more content we know what to give you.
Yes. So again, somebody and that reminds me. Somebody did hit me up on Facebook. When you guys do this, I'm gonna say, don't hit me up on Facebook because it's just I'll forget. Email me mtrailerreviews@movietrailerreviews.net. I believe somebody asked about doing Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I gotta see how many issues there are. There are probably not enough issues to do one, but what I know we've done before is we've done dual episodes. I think we did one with Mighty Thor.
We could do like a Marvel Now Slampler and do like the first three of a bunch of different books.
Well, either that or do like what we did was we can do that, and then what we also did was we did the first runs of Sam Wilson, Captain America, and the Thor with James Foster. So maybe we combine two. So maybe we'll do Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and maybe I'll find something else to do. You know what I might do? Because I read it, I'm subscribed to it, and I need to catch up on them. Maybe we'll do Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I need to. I'm so far behind.
I'm so far behind on Spider-Gwen. So
holidays are gonna be very good for me. I'm gonna read a lot.
Oh God, I can't wait. I'm so good. That and this vacation got coming up next year. Next month. I'm so in for reading. But yeah, so guys, you guys have us very excited for this, and we're doing Hellboy in 2017. It's happening. Character Corner, guys. Search for Character Corner on iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Again, leave us a 5-star review or send us an email. Either way, we'll read it on air. We're very, very excited about this. Next time we're going to do part 2 of Teen Titans. That it might be this month, probably next month. We'll see how.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
we're not doing shows. We're not doing two reviews.
Right, exactly. We'll have a conversation.
We'll talk about it.
So here's the thing. I'm putting you on the spot.
All right.
So we know the next one is going to be Teen Titans Part 2.
Okay.
What do you want to do for after that? I guess we're back up to doing Marvel.
Back at Marvel. Oh, I hadn't really thought about this. You did put me on the spot.
Yeah, I put you on the spot. Like, let me see. I think I have a small.
Well, what's happening media wise? We got Iron Fist is coming out.
Yeah, we have. Oh wait. Well, no. Iron Fist will probably do more closer to when it comes out.
Yeah, that's closer in the spring.
Closer when it comes out.
Let me go to the group real quick. Let's go to the list in the group.
Yeah, we had to list in the group.
Do this judiciously.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you've just put me on the spot.
Oh wait. Maybe we can do this. We've been asked to do this. Do you want to? And I know there's been mixed feelings on this. Do you want to do a Kitty Pryde Colossus one?
The X-Men ones are always tricky.
I know.
Let's do it. Let's do Kitty
All
Pryde.
right. Kitty Pryde and Colossus are gonna be in after we finish. We do them both, and we'll do Kitty Pryde and Colossus, and go from there. All right, folks. There you guys have it. Character Corner. I'm not gonna lie, one of my favorite shows to do. Love doing this fucking show.
See you guys later.
See you guys. Peace.